Jambo Safari Media. This is Jambo News with me, Tracy Wamboy. Let's take a look at the stories making headlines. US sends ceasefire offer to Russia. Will peace prevail or tensions escalate? US Department of Education to cut 2,100 jobs as part of Trump's administration push to shrink federal workforce. Militants hijack train in Pakistan, taking hostages amid ongoing conflict. British volunteers complete 1,300-mile journey to deliver medical aid to Ukraine. Greenland chooses independence over US interest in purchasing the island. Trump's 25% tariffs on steel and aluminium spark global trade tensions. If you thought world leaders were done playing chess with human lives, think again. The United States has just tossed a 30-day ceasefire into Russia's court. Will they pick it up or throw it back like a bad pass? The world is holding its breath after the US proposed a 30-day ceasefire offer to Russia. This follows critical peace talks held between the US and Ukraine in Saudi Arabia. Ukrainian officials have agreed to the proposal, hoping it will end the ongoing violence. But as US Secretary of State Marco Rubio stated, the ball is now in Russia's court. In a joint statement released after the talks, both the US and Ukraine confirmed their willingness to negotiate for long-term peace. The United States also announced a restart of intelligence sharing and security assistance to Ukraine, which had been paused due to tensions in Washington. But will this offer be enough to halt the war? Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky emphasized that now it's up to Russia to show whether they want peace or to continue fighting. First, the Kremlin has yet to respond directly to the proposal. However, Russia's officials are already signaling that any potential deal must be on Russia's terms. The ongoing war, which began in February 2022, has led to tragic loss of life and significant geopolitical tension. The US and Ukraine are trying to move forward, but Russia's actions on the ground, including recent deadly drone strikes, show that the war continues to escalate. So, where do we go from here? The offer for a ceasefire is on the table, but with both sides showing no signs of backing down, it's hard to predict how this will play out. The next few days will be crucial. We can only hope that this will lead to meaningful peace talks and not more bloodshed. Well, we'll keep you updated. It looks like the US Department of Education is getting an extreme makeover, by subtraction. As part of the ongoing push to slim down the federal government, nearly half of the department's workforce will soon be shown the door. But is this a new vision for education or a total meltdown of federal support for schools? In a surprising move, the US Department of Education has announced plans to cut nearly 50% of its workforce, affecting 2,100 employees starting March 21st. This decision is part of Trump's administration's ongoing effort to reduce the size of the federal government. The department, which oversees $238 billion in funding for public schools and student loans, is already the smallest US cabinet agency. While federal funds make up just 13% of school budgets, the department plays a key role in student loans, Pell Grants, and support for low-income students. Education Secretary Linda McMahon defended the cuts, stating they would help serve taxpayers and educators more effectively. However, critics including the American Federation of Teachers warned that it could disrupt vital federal education. Trump has long sought to reduce the department's role, but dismantling it entirely would require Congress approval, which remains a significant challenge. So, with these cuts, the future of the federal education support is uncertain. Will it streamline the system or cause lasting disruption? Time will tell. Just when you thought your commute couldn't get any worse, imagine being held hostage by armed militants on a train in Pakistan. While Pakistan Balochistan region, a train carrying over 400 passengers was hijacked and the situation is still unfolding. Are authorities in control, or is this just another escalation in a decades-long conflict? Let's find out. Armed militants from the Baloch Liberation Army attacked the Jafar Express train traveling from Quetta to Peshawar in Pakistan's Balochistan province. The militants fired at the train and took several passengers hostage after bombing the tracks. As of Wednesday morning, at least 100 hostages have been freed, with 16 militants reportedly killed. The attackers demanded the release of Baloch political prisoners within 48 hours, threatening to kill the hostages if their demands weren't met. The rescue operation is still ongoing with the helicopters and security forces at the scene. Among those freed are 17 injured passengers who are receiving medical care. The attack has sparked widespread fear, with the passengers recounting harrowing escapes as the militants stormed the train. Many relatives of the passengers are anxiously waiting for news as communications with the train remain limited due to lack of mobile network coverage in the area. While this attack highlights the ongoing instability in Balochistan, a region that is rich in resources but struggling with conflict and underdevelopment. Well, with militants continuing their insurgency and a rescue operation underway, the situation remains tense. Well, authorities will be hoping for a swift resolution, but the path to peace in Balochistan seems as unclear as ever. Picture driving over 1,300 miles to deliver much-needed medical supplies to a war-torn country, all while crossing borders and facing the emotional weight of the situation. Well, that's exactly what a group of British men did, all in the name of humanitarian aid. What motivates people to go to such lengths? Let's find out. 3 men from Daplo, Cambridge, have completed a remarkable 1,300 miles journey across Europe to deliver medical aid to Ukraine. They drove a convoy of trucks, including one named Shrek, packed with essentials like wheelchairs, crutches, clothing, and generators. The convoy, which covered up to 400 miles a day, reached the city of Brody near the Polish border after 4 days on the road. The men, who flew home after dropping off the trucks, were deeply moved by the gratitude of the Ukrainian people. Paul Anshaw, one of the men, shared how emotional it was to hand over the keys to Ukrainian drivers, especially since most of the men were at the front fighting. He noted that the psychological impact of showing support, saying it felt just as important as the aid itself. Well, that's a heartwarming reminder that even in the darkest time, the generosity and support of everyday people can make a huge difference. Well, the men have left Ukraine, but the impact of their mission will likely stay with the people they helped for a long time. Well, it looks like the Greenland has made its choice in the elections, and surprise, it's not a fan of Trump's release estate plan. In a vote that's been anything but calm, Greenland's center-right opposition has emerged victorious. But what does this mean for the future of the island, and the US rather, bold interest in owning it? Let's take a closer look. Greenland's center-right opposition has claimed victory in the general elections, with the Democratic Party leading with nearly 30% of the votes. This comes amidst ongoing tension over US President Donald Trump's controversy interest in purchasing the island. Nalarak, another opposition party pushing for immediate independence and closer ties with the US, while Prime Minister Mutby Party, a pro-independence group, trails in third. Greenland, an autonomous territory of Denmark, has been controlled by Copenhagen for over 300 years, but the island governs its own domestic affairs. The election results could signal a shift towards further independence, with the US eyeing the region's strategic location and valuable resources. However, both Greenland and Denmark have repeatedly rejected Trump's offer to buy the island. So, with the center-right opposition now in power, Greenland's future may hold more political independence and possibly some more tense discussions with the US. One thing for sure, Greenland is not backing down from asserting its autonomy no matter how much the US wants it. President Trump has decided to turn up the heat on trade once again, and this time it's with metal. The 25% tariff on steel and aluminium imports have officially kicked in. But as usual, where there's a heavy tariff, there's a healthy backlash. Let's dive into what's happening with the global trade scene and how it's already marking waves across the world. President Trump's decision to impose 25% tariffs on steel and aluminium is set to escalate trade tensions with major partners like the EU, Canada, and Australia. The move has sparked immediate retaliation, with the EU planning counter tariffs worth billions of euros on US goods. Although Trump hopes the tariffs will boost US steel production, critics argue it will lead to higher prices for the US consumers and could harm industries that rely on metals such as aerospace and automotive. Several countries, including Canada and Mexico, which were previously exempt, now face the full impact of the tariffs. Canada has already expressed concerns about the additional costs, especially to its steel and aluminium sectors. Meanwhile, economists are warning that the tariffs could hurt the border's US economy, especially with the potential for rising consumer prices and stock market instability. Fears of a recession are already fueling stock market sell-offs, leaving global markets on edge. In the end, these tariffs are a double-edged sword. While they may benefit some US industries, the potential harm to consumers and the broader economy could be significant. Well, the question now is whether Trump's bold trade strategy will pay off or if it will cause further instability in the markets. Thank you for tuning in to Jambo Safari Media. This was Jambo News. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. And remember, we're just a click away.